Hey, you out there in the Chivaverse. Today we're going to talk about the countdown. The countdown is beginning. We have our three teams going into the final phases, as well as tons of other news. See you guys in a few. Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Latino America, and all you ChivaHermanos and ChivaHermanas around the globe. All you mothers and misters, Chiva brothers and sisters. Welcome to We Goat You Live. We're transmitting directly from La Perla Tapatía, home to the most glorious of teams, el Club Deportivo Guadalajara. Bienvenidos todos a We Goat You Live. How is everybody out there? Hope you're ready to talk Chivas, because we have tons to talk about, my friends. But first, let us talk about our co-host. Gabi, ¿cómo estás?
Hi, Robert, and hi, everybody that's already joining the conversation and joining also the chat with your comments. Thank you so much for joining us for one more week of Chivas Talk. So I'm going to say this as Norman, as unusual, for everybody that is already asking in the chat. This is content that Chivas creates in English for all our Chiva hermanas and Chiva hermanos that live outside Mexico, and for some reason they speak mostly in English. So as you see right here, Chivas TV, we are official, but this is content in English for all our Chiva hermanos that speak mostly in English. I'm going to say it now in Spanish. I'm sorry for everybody in the chat asking already. Este contenido es de Chivas, creado por Chivas, producido por Chivas, y nosotros somos staff de Chivas. Como ven aquí dice Chivas TV, somos oficial de lo oficial, pero este contenido es en inglés para todos nuestros Chiva hermanos y Chiva hermanas que viven fuera de México, mayormente en los Estados Unidos, y que hablan mayormente en inglés. Por alguna circunstancia de la vida, hablan más en inglés que en español. Y como ustedes saben, Chivas expande sus horizontes y queremos llegar a la mayor cantidad de Chiva hermanos y Chiva hermanas alrededor del mundo, porque como ustedes saben, tenemos Chiva hermanos hasta en Australia. Ahora sí, de vuelta al inglés. Thank you everybody for joining and starting the Chivas conversation already in the chat. Alfredo, how are you, my friend?
Hi, Gabi. Hi, Robert. Hi, ChivaHermanos. Very excited to be here with you guys. Already vibing what will be the end of the tournament for El Tapatío, for Chivas Femenil, for the Chivas first team, of course, who just got back. Well, they got back from the United States back the other day in Monday, got back to practices. Tu Rebaño is already over. We have everything that went on in Southern California. A warm welcome from the ChivaHermanos, who we thank from the bottom of our hearts for their love, for their support, both in San Diego and San Jose. And we have plenty of ChivaHermanos in the house. We have Curtis Williams, we have Yasmin Gonzalez, we have Angelica, we have two Fernandos, Jair Ortiz, Noemi Garcia, Pedro Sanchez, we have Manuel Sanchez, and everyone who's joining already the conversation. If you'd like to hop into the chat, just send us a WhatsApp message to the number on screen, plus 52. It will be shortly on screen, but it is the We Go to. There we go. Plus 52 133 26 67 241. That's the WhatsApp mess. That's the official We Go to channel. Send us a DM if you'd like to be on the show, if you'd like to be here with us, or if you have any questions, any concerns, any comments that you would like to share with the Chiva community. Because as I said, it's already definition time for El Rebaño Sagrado. It's the team already disputed two friendlies under Gerardo Espinosa. The team already knows better what the coaching staff wants. And why not? Let's dream for the best.
Of course, and we have a lot to think about, But you know what I'm wondering first? What did they bring us from the U.S.? Because they have to bring something from the U.S., like all of our family. No? At least some chocolatitos, something like that. And what you mentioned about the Chiva Hermano love, did you guys see the stadiums? They were packed. They were
They were
packed, you
packed.
know. I was thinking that maybe the Cholos game was going to be a little bit more even because everybody lives in TJ, you know, in Tijuana. But wow,
Yes, I
Chivermanos
was
in
also
the United
expecting a lot
States.
of Cholos fans,
Wow, it was
but it
incredible to
was
see them
pretty
there.
much ChivaHermanos, right?
It
There's a
was just
lot of
like the
Chiva
whole
Hermanos.
thing.
I think the biggest concentration of Chiva Hermanos in the USA, they are in California.
Yes, of
So
course.
I think this was like the perfect target region for
Hmm.
us to kick off this Rebaño tour. And of course, San Jose, San Diego, and whatever we play in LA, like California es territorio rojiblanco.
That's right. Well put.
Totally.
I like that. Yes, California is territorio rojiblanco. Well put, Gabby. I like that. Yes. Okay, my friends. Anybody know what time it is? What
I
time is
do.
it? You do because you're winning.
Am
What
I?
time is it? Yes, you are. You're killing us. Okay, my friends, it is time to talk about this week's MVP. We don't have a drum roll, so I'm not going to mention it. Oops.
There it is.
And yes, yes. Beautiful. Thank you, production. Here are our MVPs. So let's talk who chose Chicharito first. We're not going to go
I,
by, go for it. Who chose Chicharito?
I chose Chicharito because not only because of his fantastic assist the other day in the second goal against Atlas when he assisted Ariel Castro, but also because that assist speaks a lot for itself. We believe that El Rebaño will be now playing with two center forwards up front. That's what the vibe that we got from the games against the Atlas and Cholos, that El Chicharo will be having an important role for what's to come under the new coaching staff. We believe that he will be playing, let's say, as not as the man, the most upfront, but mainly as the second striker, somewhat of an Antoine Griezmann type of role, playing behind the guy who is playing totally up front. And I think that he will be coming to receive more to midfield. He will have more leadership when conducting the attack. He will be in on a more, let's say, creative aspect. So we are very excited to see what comes out of Javier's boots from now on. And as I said, expect more from him than only goals.
Okay, good points. Good points. I like that idea of maybe having two forwards. No,
Exactly.
that would be something, you know, and something that Chivas has not done,
We need that.
yeah, in a long time. So maybe two guys up front will make at least one goal. At least one goal. Is that how we're doing the math now? You know what I'm saying?
You guys will make
Okay,
at least
two,
one.
one. No,
At
at
least one.
least I know this is Chiba humor, guys. Okay, we got to look at ourselves and really enjoy the class cap full stuff. Okay, Gabi,
Yes,
¿por
sir.
qué Licha? Por favor, díganos. Tell
Well,
us, tell us.
Licha Cervantes, okay, she's a queen, like
Of course.
right on front, like she's a queen. And also because, as you know, Clásico Tapatio Femenil was played in the last couple of days, and we won again. Another Clásico Tapatio for Chivas Femenil under our belts, and especially Licha Cervantes was one of the scorers of that game. But she is now currently with 10 goals in Clásico Tapatio Femenil. So remember that last week we were talking about La Ley del Ex that is always against us? Well, this time is exactly the same, but on the other side. Like, as you know, obviously, you should know, Licha Cervantes played for Atlas Femenil at one point in her career. And right now, she is currently with 10 goals in Clásico Tapatio Femenil. So again, she is scoring against her ex team. And nonetheless, El Clásico Tapatio. So she is my weekly MVP pick.
Right, 10 for 10.
Yeah.
No,
There
10
we
for
go.
10. Yeah, that was magnificent. I love Licha. She made a really good goal. So did Vidi, though. I thought both goals were well constructed.
Yes.
I think Chivas should have won by more. La verdad. But I very nice taste in my mouth after watching that match. It was very well played. Very well played. Very well played. And that's not to say that Atlas did not play well either. They tried.
They tried.
But the defense, which is something we're going to talk about at the moment, is either with Blanca and now these last two matches with Celeste.
Mhm.
You know, we're doing really well. So I voted for you. I voted for you.
God.
I did. I don't care. You know what? I want all
you
of us
did?
to win, really, because I
You voted
agree
for
with.
me.
I want all of us to win. I think we all should win because Chicharito is really, you know, la está rompiendo el viejito. You know, he's coming back,
And
and that's great. You know, Licha la viejita también, because if you look at it, and you know, in I was going to say dog years, but in the years of a football player, these are, you know, their best moments, I believe, have gone by, and still they're performing at a super competitive level. So I would vote for both of them. Yeah, I love both of them. They're great, great, great players. But ask me why I chose Miguel Gomez.
why, Robert?
I,
Please tell us, please.
I chose Miguel Gomez because he is part of this up and coming group of players who have been, as they have say vulgarly, rompiendo, right, in the youth divisions and in Tapatio. Miguel had a bit of bad luck because, you know, I don't know if you guys have been following him closely. He had a pretty serious injury that left him off of the pitch for quite some time. And he's come back in 3 matches this season. And in this season, he has made his presence felt. Okay.
Mhm.
The kid is on fire. He plays on the same side that Mosso does. And when he does it very well, very competently. Both sides, actually, I've seen him play on both sides of the pitch. I really love his final touch, which is the pass. He's great at sending centers. He's scored 1 goal. It was an away goal, actually. And he's had 1 assist. I think, Alfredo, right? You will correct me on that one. But I think he's also 1 assist. So 3 games. And we need to really start talking about our canteranos, my friends, because
Mhm.
we're not going to find them on the market. And we really, really, really have some great players in our cantera Rocky Blanc. So that's why I chose Miguel Gomez.
Awesome.
There we go. Actually, yeah. Actually, against Atlas, we lined up, I think, 12 or 13 canteranos. And then the other day also against Cholos, we're speaking about between 10 and 15 canteranos looking for minutes. That without counting Tala Rangel, who was with the national team. Of course, fantastic numbers out of the 13 canteranos who played with Chivas. 9 of them went through El Tapatío. A lot of them under Gerardo Espinosa back. Who can forget that Clausura 2013 championship of Liga Expansión? Gerardo Espinosa knows a lot of the guys, which speaks also well about El Tapatío coming back, making its reappearance back in 2020. So we're already starting to see 5 years later, starting to see the fruits of course, not only the cantera process, but also the having a team in Liga Expansión as well.
That's right. And it has to start paying off. And I always hear people, you know, saying things like that Chivas should start playing with players of other nationalities, no? Like we look at the world market and there's a lot out there to buy, no? But this is part of our essence, you know?
It's the
Exactly.
essence.
It is the essence,
It is
exactly.
the
That's
essence.
why I'm a Chiva fan. Me, personally.
Me too.
That's
That's
why
why.
we're Chivas, you know.
That's me. That's all 100%. And I think a lot of people have talked about, if you guys have been listening to the talking heads and the social networks recently, Boyo has talked about it. A lot of, other people have been trying to kind of convince the general public that they're not Boyo, convince the general public that that's the way to go. And no, the way to go is to stick to our guns and just bring out our natural talent and make sure that they're the ones that are filling the spaces that we need. And as ChivaHermanos, we got, we're not the most patient fans. Okay. That's the truth, because we think big. We love our team, and we always expect it to be in the top places. So I can understand the frustration, because I'm the first one who gets frustrated. Like I said, look at all this gray hair. But in reality, if we think logically, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. So I chose Miguel Gomez for that reason, and tons more, because I'm so sure that guy is gonna romperla. And we're talking about he's Chivas, man. And I consider Licha Canterana too. I do, because her hard work and her real years she's done with Chivas. She made her story with Chivas. And if you ask her, she's Chiva. And I always go back, guys, go to Chivas TV and watch that story, man. It'll make you cry. Bring popcorn and Kleenex, okay? Because it's a very interesting story, but it talks about that thing that I think that all Chiva players need, is that's passion. That passion that, okay, you have talent, and that's fine, but you need to have the mentality to really be in Chivas. I think it's more mentality than talent, really.
Right.
So, anyways, hermanos, I'm sorry we got so serious, but we got to, right? Let's talk now. Don't forget, you got to go vote. Where can you go vote?
Head over to X and go to the Chivas in English account. And there is the poll is already running. It's been running almost for like 2-something-ish hours.
Yeah.
So head over there and vote Team Gabby, Team Licha. So go.
I voted for Licha too. But if you're curious, check out Miguel Gomez. Look for him, and you can find tons of reels of what he's done. All right, my brothers and sisters, it's time for everyone wants to talk about Baronil. All right, my brothers and sisters, we came back from El Tour Rebaño, where we had positive numbers, okay? We beat Atlas 2-0, okay? 2-0, and we tied 1-1 with Xolos. Let's talk about it. What do you guys think of this Tour Rebaño balance? Gaby, Alfredo, everybody on the chat, ¿qué piensan?
You want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. No, I was actually working on some content related to what the tour left us. As I said at the beginning of the show, a very important tour, because these were the first two matches of the first two friendly matches of the team under Gerardo Espinosa, which means that you are not playing for the 3 points, so you don't have that added pressure of getting the results, but you're actually trying to work as a team, function as a team, absorb the tactical idea that the coaching staff wants to impose. I saw different aspects of the team, such as the one that we were mentioning at the time of the MVP of Javier Hernandez, playing as one of the two center forwards, playing up front along with Pulido, sometimes Vilke. We saw a team who gave a great importance to keeping the ball safe, to playing out the ball patiently, not getting dispersed, but mostly securing the possession of the ball, especially when we play close to our goal. We also saw a team who was very concentrated, a high concentration by Chivas when doing the relays, when making the coverages for the teammates. That defensive relay that is so important, so that we don't concede spaces for the opponent. We also saw that. We saw Chivas winning a lot of aerial balls, such as the goal scored by Mateo Chavez and other plays. The team has I sense that there is a great bet on that classical play from a corner kick where you attempt to head the ball twice to score the goal. And there are many aspects that if the team gets to develop them, we could see a better functioning.
So it's just going back to Esquerra bringing back the old school way, Gabi. I mean, we saw so many players too, because at one of the games there was 11.
There was 11 subs. Yes.
Yes, 11 subs.
Yes.
So, which of the teams did you like?
Well, okay, so going a little bit back of the positive balance that we saw, especially for a Clásico Tapatío, we were talking about this last week, and regardless of the Xolos game, which remember these are friendly matches, mostly just to stay in shape because of the FIFA break. But one of these games was Clásico Tapatío, so it had a win, right? So no matter how or the lineup, I think I like what I saw. To Alfredo's point, Chicharito, he gets I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves, because people always expect exclusively for him to score and score and score and score. And we don't realize or acknowledge how dangerous he actually is, and how he performs, and how much of a play he develops inside the pitch. And we already saw that with that assist to Ariel Castro, right? And all the danger. I've always said this, and I remembered someone coming for me in the chat because he was like, yeah, but he's not scoring. Wait, hold on. Yeah, we're probably expecting that from him because of the history, right? But he is an incredible assist. He performs, and he puts order, if that makes sense, in that specific area. So he might not be scoring a lot, or as we probably were expecting when he came back to Chivas, but I think what he does with the leadership and with the order that he places inside the pitch and in that specific position, and overall, because it's him, like, you can see the harmony, if I am allowed to use that word, inside the pitch when he is around. So going back to the question, I really liked what I saw. You have to win a Clásico Tapatío no matter what. And I don't really think it was much challenging. Or what do you guys think from Atlas? I'm talking about Atlas. I think Chivas did pretty good. And it was a safe win. Again, not that it's official or anything, but you have to win these games, mostly because you don't want to lose momentum, because you want to come back, because we're in the final stretch of the regular season for Liga MX. And especially because, considering that we didn't have 3 of our most important players, well, actually 5, considering that Piojo, Romo, and Tala are always in the starting 11. Yael and Gamberos are like revulsivos and coming in and whatnot. But it was a good presentation, considering that we didn't have like these 3 players, and it was a Clásico Tapatío. And I overall, I liked what I saw, and I think it sets the table for this final stretch for Liga MX.
Yes, I too agree with you what you're talking about when you're discussing how they're playing, because they're loose. That's the difference, don't you think, Abby?
And I think that I don't know if it was because this was like a tour or an exhibition. I don't want to call it an exhibition, because again, we're talking about Clásico Tapatío and you have to play like whatever. But I think they play like more comfortable. I don't know what you think.
I agree with you, and it might be because of the presence. We're seeing Pocho's back, okay? I see a different Chavez. You know, he's not going out to reset people automatically. You know, he's actually more measured. He's doing very well in passing and shooting, you know? And Team Wilke, my goodness, I love him in the air, man.
And I think these kind of games are the perfect opportunity also to give these very young players a chance to like develop this kind of experience. Again, because this is not an official game and whatever, but we are talking, if we have a positive balance in this Rebaño Tour, it's because of los canteranos.
Yes. I want to add something real quick, sorry, Alfredo, about Chicharito, because many people have been, like you said, expecting Chicharito to be this old Chicharito, the Chicharito back in Manchester, you know, the Chicharito Madrid, Chicharito. But you know what a lot of people don't talk about is that, remember that Chicharito was coming back. He was still in the phases of recuperating a very, very serious injury. And even then, he tried to be on the pitch. He gave it his all, you know? So I think, again, that people are being just too critical of him. And I agree with that, you, Alfredo, completely. This guy, maybe now with Pulido, the two experienced, forwards who know how to play as a post, know when to go for the ball, when to pass it. They're now starting to influence these younglings, and this is what I'm expecting. This is what I hope. So, anyway, enough of Tu Rebaño. Let's talk about
Chivas. Alfredo had something else.
Ay, perdón, Alfredo.
So adding on what you say regarding Javier Hernandez, he's been in the top leagues of the world. So there are so many concepts that he has absorbed throughout the years under fantastic managers who, of course, he has learned so much. He has an advanced knowledge of the game, and I feel that we're trying to profit from that.
Of course, if anything, he's going to leave the experience with the kids, right? And
totally.
that's actually super. How can I put it? For me, it's added pressure also for the veterans. Yeah, because even though perhaps physically he's not at 100%, mentally he is. Chicharito is always there when he's on the pitch, and he's pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. So I agree with both of you, and Gabby and Alfredo. I think we're going to see a different close. And I don't want to go so far because every time I get Gabby, I start talking so much, is when we go down. But we have enough games to enter either in play-in or liguilla. We have enough, and we have enough points. So what do you guys think? What's going to happen? What can we expect? And guys in the chat, too. I see the chat is really active. What do they expect? Are we going to be able to get, how many games are left? 5?
5.
Including Saturdays, right?
Yes, 5.
Yeah.
Okay, Saturday, 9 o'clock, the playoffs begin for us, basically.
Against Cruz Azul.
Pretty much.
This is a huge one. This is a huge one.
Okay, so what can we expect? Are we going to see this loose Chivas Atlas game, or are we going to see something more defensive, because that's something we had been seeing before, no? Alfredo, what do you think?
Taking into consideration what's at stake and what we saw in the tour, I'm expecting to see a highly concentrated Chivas team because you can have more assertiveness or less assertiveness towards goal. That depends on many aspects, luck, whatever. But what I'm expecting is a team that is concentrated, a team that is responsible with its relays, a team that is great solidarity with your teammates. Never leave your teammates on a 2 versus 1 situation. Always try to, especially when we're defending, try to block as much space as you can. Don't let the opponent play freely. So that's what I'm expecting. And something that I really liked and I would like to see on Saturday is the team recovered a lot of balls near the opponent's box. We recovered a lot of balls, not only at the opponent's half of the pitch, but also near the box of the opponent. So I would like to see that. I would like to see a great Eric Gutierrez on Saturday. I would like to see great responsibility and great commitment. I know that it's still early under the new coaching staff, so I'm not expecting the most brilliant football, let's say. But what I am expecting is commitment and responsibility.
Yes, and temper, no? Because now that you mentioned Guti, temper, my friend. Temper. Right. They're the vets, man. They're the ones that are giving the example. So, strange in him, though. No, he's usually really level-headed.
He got a red card against Xolos or Atlas?
It was Xolos.
It was in the last game.
Yes, it was Xolos.
Yeah.
He was very frustrated. It was a frustrating game. We haven't really talked about that, but it's kind of, we don't want to really look at it. But it was a very frustrating game. When he came on the pitch, I'm sure that he was not in the best of moods. And the refereeing,
Oh
It
my
was
goodness.
very provocative. Let me put
Oh
it
my
that
goodness.
way. Yeah, very, very provocative. So I don't know. So my friends, what's up? We have so much to talk about. Chivas Cruz Azul. Okay, what's gonna happen? What do you guys think? Gabi, it's your turn. What do
Yes,
you
sir.
guys see and think?
So I don't expect to see the same looseness, if I'm allowed also to use that word, against Cruz Azul, because I think the challenge is going to be much more elevated against Cruz Azul, of course. But as I always say, we play at home, and if we as Robert likes to say, we look at the glass half full. We are currently in the 10th position, and we are 5 points away from Necaxa. So, the mission right now, and we can talk, of course, about specific situations and lineups and what would we like to see and expect, but it's win or go home. Like
Yep.
right now, we need to gain those 3 points. There's only 5 weeks left for regular season. We are right now in the play-in position, I believe. But we want to be in the Liguilla Directa, right? Who doesn't?
Exactly.
Who doesn't? And I think it's going to be a tough challenge against Cruz Azul. We always say this. Yes, it was an incredible win against Atlas. We have a tie against Xolos on those two friendlies, but it is time to turn the page because we are back in reality. And the reality right now is Cruz Azul.
Yes.
And we need to stay focused on Cruz Azul right now. I don't even know, Alfredo. I don't know. You're the numbers guy. What position is Cruz Azul in right now? Fifth. Okay.
Fifth.
There you go.
They're only 1 point ahead of
There you go.
Necaxa. So they're and only one ahead of Pachuca, who's the 7th. So they're pretty much their straight Liguilla position is only a one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
So
That's
there
what
you
I'm
go.
saying.
Even
So
a draw wouldn't make it for them.
for us, we need to win all of the games. That's what I'm saying. We wasted too many opportunities in the season. We've
Unfortunately,
wasted
yes.
too many opportunities. So it's time. We cannot lose any more matches because if we win, what's left? 15 points, no? 15 points with the 10 that we have, that's 25. That's barely playing if we look at the last seasons. If we look at numbers, look back at the numbers and see that's barely going to be enough for us to get into play-in unless the other teams, the top teams, start losing. La verdad. Necaxa, they're on fire. Cruz Azul hasn't had such a great season,
No.
in my opinion. Yeah, it's a good opportunity for us to
Mhm.
beat them. And we haven't lost at the Akron against them in the last three
games.
visits.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's a good moment for us to
Hopefully,
make a statement.
and of course, we have back our national team players, right?
Exactly.
So that's another thing. Like we have. Oh, Alfredo, where are you? He left. There he is.
There he is.
We have Piojo, Tala, Romo, Yael, and Camberos. They're back. So yeah, we have a full force against Cruz Azul to go back to regular season, and it's winning. It's going to be interesting. I'm not going to bet on we're going to talk about about scores in a little bit, but yeah, it's going to be tough.
Let's not say score. Let's try something different this time.
A ver.
Right? Let's not say what we think they're going to do. Okay, and let's just see what happens. That glass half full has a lot to do, but our expectations have more to do. What do I mean by that? We expect them to win. We want them to win. Will they win?
I don't want to go first. I don't want to go
Right.
Hopefully.
Who's going to say it's like anxiety full? And we have to use LY words like hopefully. But I think this time we're going to win. But not because of like a Kabbalah or whatever. I think we're going to win because of what we just talked about. Alfredo, you mentioned the high press is back. It was the success for Paunovic, recuerden? That was our success.
Yes.
We press high, we take the ball, we score. Adios. And then the defense does their work, right? So you're right on that. Gabi, I agree with you completely, okay? We're coming back. It's time to just win. And I think the guys with Gera have convinced, let's just play old-fashioned football. It's not that difficult, okay? No está tan difícil. And Gera brought that. Defense, strong. Let's keep going forward. Midfield, that's where we need to find that right combination. I think Pocho gave it to us when we played against Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't like what he brings to the table. I do. I like it. Why? Because I think that he and Romo, the dos viejitos, together
Oh my God.
will be able to create something there. Yeah, and then it's not all the pressure on viejito uno. It's on viejito dos, and they can start exchanging positions because they're the guys that have the vision.
Totally.
Yeah. Remember, los viejitos hacen que corra el balón, no que corran ellos detrás del balón. That's the reason they have the vision. Alberto Coyote. Oh, it's his birthday actually today. Coyote's birthday.
Oh, really?
Ramon Ramirez. Okay. Look at these guys, who have these visions of football. Messi, whatever. I'm not comparing, okay, because I'm going to get hated over here in the chat. Okay. But if you look at these grandes jugadores, they have this vision that's beyond what everybody else sees. Okay.
Look at this comment right here.
Thank you, Curtis. I expect Chivas to cement. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Instead of saying
completely intended.
3-1, eh? Yes.
That'll be great.
I agree completely. It's all about pitch forward, no? The defenders, we can see they do their job. Tala's going to be back. We have good defense. And now we need to look, okay, what's happening? Who's going to be the quarterback? I think that's the last thing we need. Un pensante.
What about Beltran? Because he had kind of consolidated himself in that role over the last 2 years.
Right, but then he became again topsy-turvy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did very well against Atlas, and even though Xolos was a bit frustrating, he did very well too because he had to go get the ball and bring it forward. That's his job, it sucks. It's a horrible job, but somebody has to do it.
But it's one of the most important jobs inside the pitch.
It's like, like I always say, there has to be someone who has the idea. The idea man in the defense is for me always the goalie. He has a better vision of the field. He's able to see what's going on. Hey, ponte trucha acá, go attack this guy. He's going forward. He already has studied the players. It's the same from the midfield forward. If you study your team that you're going to be against, how they're going to mark, how they're going to cover you, what is their tendencies of play, We need a brilliant player. And now that I remembered Alberto Coyote, that's what he was great at. And who does it for Chivas Femenil? Because I want us to start moving into Chivas Femenil. We've talked about Varonil a lot. We're starting to run out of time, and we always run out of time when we talk about Femenil and Cantera. And we need to give them, their position. A lot of really great things are happening there too. Okay, so let's try to wrap it up. Gabi, what do you think? What's going to happen?
What's going to happen? Yeah, again, I'm the person that don't always we're going to win no matter what. Blah, blah, blah. No, I have a try right now to be the most realistic I can be. Of course, if you ask me, I want them to win, but I think it's going to be a very challenging game, so I'm going with a tie, a 1-1. It's not a loss, but I think we're going to tie against Cruz Azul. And again, it's 1 point. I mean, the glass half full, right?
That's right. You have to keep adding points. Alfredo?
Yeah.
What do you think, my friend?
As you said, I hope that we keep adding points. I hope it is with a win. But as I said, I'm expecting a committed team. And why not cement Cruz Azul, as Cordy says?
Exactly.
Oh, you're not giving scores. I'm sorry. I already said a score, right? I'm sorry.
No. Did anyone? You could say a score if you like. What do you think? Do you want to say numbers? You want to put numbers on the table? The money where your mouth is?
I already said 1-1.
A tie.
A tie. Well, okay, exactly. A tie.
I don't know, my friends. I don't know. I'm just such a positive thinker. We're going to win. We're going to win.
Please.
Luck has nothing to do with it.
Yes.
We're going to win. We're going to win. The guys they're convinced. They're on a roll. Even if it's, against friendlies, we're on a roll. Cruz Azul va a ser su partido, but I think Jera is going to study Cruz Azul enough. Espinosa is going to study Cruz Azul enough. And we're going to do that high pressing, and we're going to kick their asses.
Great.
I see.
Hopefully.
Maybe
And
he
like
has
you
been
said-
I'm
studying.
confident. I'm confident.
Maybe he has been studying Cruz Azul for 2 or 3 weeks already, and played the games in the United States based on that upcoming game.
I
It's a
hope
key.
so. He's a studious guy, man. He's a studious guy. And for me, Cruz Azul is one of the teams that I really admire. Like their rebound, they've done better. I could see the improvements, and I love it when Cruz Azul is playing well.
Yeah.
And obviously, I love it when my team is playing better. But I think it's a great measure, And if they don't win against them, then la neta, I don't think that we should even think about being
Don't say it.
Yes, no. ¿Pa qué? Are we going to keep doing the same stuff? Then you know what, man? Let's play with the canteranos. Let's play with just canteranos, and let's rebuild our strength for next year. That's what I would do. If they're not going to go all in, because yes, we can go, and I don't like to say things like that, but sometimes it's best to just restart things. Do it again. And I think Gerardo Espinosa needs a good opportunity to show what he has and bring it to the table. Young Mexican, DT. Right? Okay, so anyway, where can we watch this?
Where are we watching this? There we go.
Go for it, Alfredo.
Yeah, so we have Chivas Cruz Azul, match week 13 of Liga MX. It's already getting hot. It's Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, March 29th, kickoff time at 9:05 p.m. Central Mexican time, 10:05 p.m. Central time of the United States, and 11:05 Eastern. So fantastic plan, fantastic Saturday night plan. If you're in Mexico, it will be on the screen of Amazon Prime Video. While if you're in the USA, it's in La Casa de las Chivas in Telemundo. So Prime Video in Mexico, Telemundo in the United States. And there you have the schedules. Also stay tuned for the Chivas official channels for further information. But there we go, Chivas Cruz Azul this Saturday. Excited to be back. Excited after that international break. Excited to be back in official competition, and looking forward to see what the team practiced in the United States.
Exactly. Bring that attitude. Bring the attitude to Mexico. Where am I? There am I. Okay, my friends. Yes, Gabi, go for it.
No, I was
Address
going to
the
say
skeleton in the closet.
the elephant in the room, exactly.
Yes.
So a lot of people asking in the chat if the game is going to be played at closed doors. So what we have to tell you is that please stay tuned for official information from the Chivas official channels, X, Facebook, whatever it is that you follow Chivas on social media. Marisol Munoz is asking exactly this, and I saw a couple of more comments, and especially somebody that said that they were planning a trip to Guadalajara to go to that game. So it's going to be, please stay tuned for Liga MX official social media and Chivas for the official statement and information regarding the game at Estadio Akron against Cruz Azul. We're still waiting on that official information. So please stay tuned for the Liga MX social media accounts and Chivas, of course.
There we go.
There we go, everybody. That's the official statement from Chivas. Okay, and you heard it here on Chivas TV. And now on to the next topic. Chivas Femenil. Our chingonas are on a roll, my friends. They're doing it again. They're banging it. And they are bringing the numbers. They're bringing the numbers, okay? They are not only because they beat Atlas again 2-0, but they're on a roll. Gabi, dinos, ¿cuál es el secreto? What's the secret? What the heck is going on?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And can we replicate it?
So the secret is a huge attitude and a big heart, and wearing that jersey as proudly as you can. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, there's a part of that, of course, but of course, the incredible talent that we have on Chivas Femenil currently. So we had another edition of Clásico Tapatío, and Chivas won again, as Robert was saying, again against Atlas Femenil 2-0 with goals from Licha Cervantes and Viridiana Salazar. And as we were saying at the beginning of the show, and the reason why Licha specifically is my weekly MVP pick is because she is now currently with 10 goals in Clásico Tapatío. That is so easy to say, but I'm pretty sure it's very hard to accomplish. And of course, if you've been living under a rock, you probably know this. But Licha played in the early days for Atlas Femenil, and she is now currently with La Ley del Ex, but in reversed, with 10 goals against Atlas Femenil. Viridiana Salazar has currently 2 goals. And we are so happy because we're currently in the 5th position, I think. Oh my God, I lost my notes. But
Yes.
5th position, right?
Mhm.
5th position of the general table. We are just getting those wins. And remember that we are also in the final stretches of the regular season, of course, aiming again for another liguilla. And we have still the best defense in the tournament with 9 goals allowed. We are tied with América Femenil. So we are like unstoppable. And another thing that it's interesting to mention is that this is the second game in a row where Celeste Espino has been in the starting 11. Remember that Blanca Felix is currently dealing with recovery from an injury, and she kept her goalie in 0. So that is very impressive. Caro Jaramillo, of course, doing her thing.
Doing her thing.
She didn't have an assist in this last game, and there's going to be a video about this, so stay tuned for Chivas official social media, because Caro Jaramillo is with 11 assists in La Liga MX Femenil. She is the top assistant in La Liga MX Femenil, and she is also very close of breaking her own record of 14 assists in Clausura 2023. I believe it wasn't in 2023, but she is like, oh my goodness, like she is again doing her thing in that position. And you were asking earlier about who could play that exact position of orchestrating what is the midfield in Chivas Femenil, and I think it's Caro Jaramillo. So what do you guys think?
I agree with you completely. It's Caro. There's the brains of the team, you know. She's the brains. Fortunately, though, in Chivas Femenil, we have a lot of brains.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it, you know. We see it with Gabi. We see it with Didi, which she scored. Okay, she just scored again. And again against Atlas, because I think that this is the second time Vidi has scored against Atlas, right? Or is it the third? Every time she gets up against Atlas, she's also scoring. So that's quite significant. And I think that's what, you know, I'm talking about Vidi. She's also a brainy player, okay? We have a lot going on, and you could see everybody working in the same direction, man. I love this game. I gloated. Yes, I did. I gloated. I had to, you know, I had to gloat a little bit. It was great to see. Great to see. And I was expecting Caro to give an assistance because we had just talked about it.
Yes.
The previous show. So, boom. And who are they playing next, Alfredo?
So the next opponent is Puebla, La Franja. And in fun fact, if we win on Sunday, we will be already mathematically qualified into Liguilla with 2 games left to play. I would like to add that Chivas Femenil is currently the best defense in Liga MX Femenil. The team has only received 9 goals in 14 matches and has kept 6 clean sheets out of the 14 disputed. So almost half of the matches disputed by Chivas Femenil have ended up with a clean sheet. Props to Blanca, to Celeste, and to all the girls in the defense. Fantastic defensive performance this tournament. And as I said earlier, defeating La Franja on Sunday would mean already the mathematical ticket, the mathematical qualification for another liguilla.
And to that, when we were talking about Varonil, that we were very cautious about our what we think about the game against Cruz Azul. On this one, on the other hand, like I can say, like I am going to put my money where my mouth is, as Robert would say, because we haven't lost one single game against Puebla at home. So, I mean, if everything is as it should be, right? This should be another win. This should be, I'm not going to say comfortable win. Every team has its challenges. But right now, I think Chivas Femenil, and we were talking about this last week also, that we don't want to think that this momentum and this attitude came too late, but it's happening. It's happening. And we are in a terrific position right now. Don't get me wrong. Like we're in 5th position. We have like 4 weeks left of the regular season, and we can make it to Liga Directa, of course, and it's going to be as normal. Like Chivas Femenil should always be in Liguilla. But I think this time with Puebla Femenil, it should be a comfortable-ish win at home.
Agreed completely. And again, I think that they are already in playoff mode.
Yes, that's exactly. That is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it's not too. I think it's perfect timing.
So the machine is rolling.
Mm-hmm. Look at them. Look at them. Really, I don't see the stress from last season.
Right, more really, free.
Look.
You know, like
oh yeah,
Boyi
comes on. Yes, they shook it off. Boyi comes on. A minute later, she passes to Vidi, and Vidi scores.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, just a quick shout out to our girl Bianca Mora, who saw her first minutes with Chivas Femenil. So yay! We had another debut in Chivas Femenil.
Another debut. So hey, let's just talk about. Actually, Alfredo, this one is for you. Because you chose them last. I don't remember last MVP or the previous.
Oh, 2 weeks ago.
Sub-19. Tell us what's going on with Sub-19 again, my friend.
So the under 19 is in the first place of their group with 25 points. Mm-hmm. So remember that Liga MX Femenil under 19, it's divided in groups, such as Liga MX once was about 15 or 20 years ago. So in the group corresponding to the under 19 of Chivas Femenil, the girls are top of the table with 25 points after 7 wins, 2 ties, and only 1 loss. The team is managed by coach Faustino Torres, and the team has showcased a wonderful power in pretty much every phase of the game. It's the second best defense of the tournament with only 7 goals received after 10 matches. So fantastic defensive performance, allowing only 7 goals in 10 matches. And the 4th best offense of the league with 19 goals in 10 matches, averaging almost 2 goals per match. It's also the team is under a 7-game unbeaten run. 5 of them were categorical victories. And it's a fantastic team for the under 19. Overall, its top scorer is Yesenia Guzman, who has scored 4 goals this semester. And behind her, with 3 goals, we have Kimberly Galicia, Julieta Perez, and Citliali Conchas. So big shout out for the under 19.
Yes. There's the Cantera again. Sorry, I cut to Cantera real quick, Gabby. But I wanted us to kind of look at that emphasis. Many of these players have played with the first team already.
Yes.
They've already had their taste, of the glory. Okay? So we need to start looking at our canteranos
and
canteranas, right?
Yes, that is the future of Chivas right now. And we have incredible players right there. And we're going to talk, of course, ahorita we're going to talk about Tapatío and Cantera Rojiblanca, but that is the future of Chivas. There is where the stars are coming. We've been talking about Hugo Camberos nonstop. We've been talking about Mateo Chavez. Now we're talking about Miguel Gomez, Ariel Castro, all these names of those very young players that are doing already their thing and that looks like they've been playing forever. So, Cantera Rojiblanca all the way, Femenil and Varonil.
That's right. We got to keep thinking about it. So, Gabi, where can we watch this match?
Yes. Where can we watch? So this match is from week 15 of Liga MX Femenil. It's going to be played on Sunday, March 30th. Please mark your calendars. Please mark your calendars because Chivas Femenil plays. And also, Alfredo and yours truly, it's our birthday. Okay, thank you.
There we go. I'm turning 30, by the way.
And oh my God, you're a baby. Chivas Femenil against Puebla Femenil, Sunday, March 30th. And you can watch, of course, en la señal más rojiblanca of Chivas TV if you are in México and if you are in the USA, en la Casa de las Chivas en los Estados Unidos, Telemundo Deportes. There are the time frames. If you're in a different time zone, you know what to do. But Chivas Femenil on week 15 against Puebla on my birthday. Thank you.
On their birthday. And Carlos Justice is the one that does the narratives, right? The play-by-plays.
I don't know if for the girls' side. I don't know if
he mentioned it the other day. We got to ask him next time. El Padrino. El Padrino. Let's talk a little bit more about La Cantera Rojiblanca. So what's up? What happened with El Tapatío, Alfredo? What happened with these guys?
Yeah, El Tapatío tied in Mexico City 1-1 against Atlante. This was last week. Remember that the guys will not be back until the 5th of April when we visit Cancun. Actually, the last two matches, the Tapatío has been unbeaten in the last two matches after defeating Tlaxcala and then tying against Atlante. I gotta make a correction. The tie against Atlante was in Guadalajara. Playing at home, but let's say two unbeaten games for El Tapatío, who stands 10th of the regular season table with 13 points. However, we're only 2 points away from Liguilla. This 8th spot is currently held by Correcaminos, who have 15. We have 13. And we still have 3 matches ahead to make it the best way possible and see if we can advance to that Liguilla. Actually, we have 4 games left to see if we can advance to that Liguilla, and one of those 4 matches will be against Correcaminos. So let's say that it's going to be a direct battle for that last Liguilla spot. So we got to make that final sprint,
So there's no play-in, am I correct?
No. Not until the 5th. Not until the following weekend.
Okay. No, but I mean that, is there play-in? Or is there just...
No, it's straight Liguilla. Just like Femenil.
All right.
Less teams.
Yeah.
Excellent data. Excellent information to know. And guys, don't forget, there's so much out there. There's so much Chiva vibe in the Chiva verse that we really, 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 really have no more choice other than to, dive into the Chivaverse and enjoy it. So guys, let us talk. We got to get serious right now, okay? And what do I mean by getting serious? When you vote for the MVP, you have to vote for the guy with the mustache, okay? That's the plan. Okay.
The big mustache or the little mustache?
The big one, man. The real one.
Oh, okay.
Not fair. Not fair.
Who's this week's MVP, my friends?
Okay, I don't have it. I haven't seen it, but okay. What is it? Who is it? Who can it be?
It has to be you. Or Chichadios.
Yay!
I told you.
I have no idea what the numbers are.
Okay.
But, I have it right here.
I'm sure it's overwhelming.
46%.
46, okay.
Of the voting. 220 votes. And 46% voted for Licha. So yes, as we were saying, Licha Cervantes is the top scorer against Atlas Femenil. It's 10 goals for her only on that Clásico Tapatío. She is again scoring, and we are so happy to see her doing her thing. Of course, having this incredible communication and chemistry with all of her players. Of course, la dupla dinámica de oro, Caro and Licha together is like fire. So yes, this I think is well deserved. Although Viri Cervantes, oh my goodness, Viri Salazar with that goal also because of her numbers and what she's done recently for Chivas Femenil with those 3 goals that are not in consecutive games, but nonetheless very important goals because they led to wins for Chivas Femenil. So 3 goals from Viri Salazar and 9 points for Chivas Femenil. So Viri, thank you so much. Viri, thank you so much. So yeah, Licha Cervantes, yay, MVP.
Yay. I voted for you, so I knew it was going to happen. I love Licha. She's such a representative. And you know what you just mentioned that's really interesting? I think we can close on that. Is that this dupla de oro, who had the vision to bring these 2 players together?
And keep in mind, they came at the exact same season together.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Exactly. You know, I was going to go to that point because I had read about that.
Yep.
And we always talk about, oh, okay, Chivas this, Chivas that, they're doing this badly. When do we talk about what they do the right way?
Exactly.
This, un acierto.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Keep this in mind, my friends. Remember that Plato said that when he was talking about the allegory of the caves, our vision is blocked by what we see in our cave. We need to step out, take risks, go to other caves, and then bring back what we learned. Okay, my brothers, ChivaHermanos, ChivaHermanas, we're going to win Saturday. I can't say it. You know, you can hate me later, but I have this overwhelming belief in Chivas since forever.
And on a quick note, the guys that went with the national team, both the under-20 and the top national team, we're speaking about Tala Rangel, Piojo Alvarado, Hugo Camberos, Luis Romo, and Yael Padilla. They're all back with El Rebaño, all back concentrated with Gerardo Espinosa and the rest of their teammates. Also, big shout-out for the under-12 of Cantera Rojiblanca, who will be playing at the Magic Cup this upcoming summer, mid-June. The Magic Cup in Orlando, Florida. Other fantastic teams in world football will be part of this Magic Cup. We're speaking about Atletico de Madrid, Manchester City, Milan, Chelsea, River Plate, Inter de Milan, Juventus, amongst others. So big shout out for the youngest guys in Cantera Rojiblanca.
Hey man, Florida is becoming like the center of soccer, you know, since, of course, Messi. And of course, we can understand it because there's lots of Latinos over there as well. But it's like everything's booming in Florida.
Yeah. And with the upcoming World Cup and everything,
it's going to be magnificent.
Sounds good.
Glass half full, everybody out there. Y'all play nice. I'll see you. All the haters, we love you. And all the lovers, we love you more. Have a beautiful weekend. Chivas va a ganar en todas sus categorías. I'll see you guys later.
Have a good one.
Porque un pelotazo no pasa nada, porque ¿sabes qué pasa con un pelotazo? Cuando ellas quieren salir a pegar un poquito, decir cambio de juego corto con un pelotazo, y ahora se quedan en medio. Lo que no podemos siempre es toca.
En esta ciudad solamente hay un equipo. Nos partimos la madre por la compañera, por mí, por el escudo, por la afición, por el trabajo que venimos haciendo, porque lo merecemos y porque este partido, cueste lo que cueste, es nuestro. Lo único que las puede hacer grandes somos nosotras. Así que las aplastamos y ahí las dejamos.